Finally, call on Jan Blake to conclude the case for the opposition.
"17, 27, 59, 50, 16, 28, 33. These are numbers of people who were killed in some recent violent mass shootings in schools, universities, nightclubs, streets in the United States of America. In 2015, 36,252 people died because of guns. This is surely a well-known situation. When speaking about bearing arms, we always take the very same example of the US. But it is the worst. The number of firearms in relation to the number of inhabitants is by far the largest in the world, more than 97 guns for 100 people. In comparison, Yemen is second with 55 guns for 100 people. And all this is made possible by the 227-year-old Second Amendment of the Constitution, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security, you know it. Textbooks ignore it, schools teach against it, clergy preached against it, politicians try to legislate against it, media ridicule it, movies perverted it, courts avoid it, and still too many gun owners. Americans collectively are answerable to these families who lose their loved ones because of their inaction. So what solutions emerge from that? Well, Mr. President Trump, like many others, would provide guns to teachers so that, obviously, they would stop any degenerate trying to shoot some children. There is no guarantee that allowing more firearms would avoid deaths, at least less guarantee than if there were very strict rules regulated and prohibiting guns. It is enough to look at the situation on a world scale, which countries are experiencing repeated massacres, and those for which there are only isolated incidents. Well, admittedly, I see all the losers if that stops. The lobbies, the RNA, the arm manufacturers, the politicians losing the vote of gun users. We must not forget that the gun industry represents $51 billion. The military budget is of $636.5 billion, while a large majority finances the wars outside the American territory. It remains that the budget of the interior forces is huge. Is it really reasonable then to let citizens defend themselves? Apparently not. Americans have failed being trusted and responsible. A safe community may be obtained with professional and trained police forces, not with amateur gunmen. Now that a colossal part of American society is used to guns everywhere, education is struggling to go against the grain. We fight for equality a lot here in Europe, legitimately, of course. Women's rights, gay rights, end of racism. But this fight, this one, is about lives and deaths. The same mistake is not to be done in any other country.